Okay, I'm recording.
Oh no, my bra.
Oh no.
Oh no. No, stop recording. No, don't, it's fine. I like to think that's the intro. Oh no, my bra.
It might be at this point. Hi guys, and welcome to Chatting Chit. I am Sam, your host, and I am joined today by the very lovely, I'm pointing the wrong way, the very lovely Lacey.
Oh my god, good start.
Good start. So, Lacey, first off, you are the first British person, the first British guest I've had on, which
Well,
is wild.
tea.
Tea and crumpets.
And tube being irregular.
And hello there, mate.
Top of the... That's
No,
not British.
that's Irish.
That's Irish. Sorry, Ireland.
But you're also the first person out of the 3 people that I have had on that has played D&D. For some reason, in the past 2 episodes, it has been brought up that those people, Cass and Kiana, have not played D&D. Don't know how that organically came up, but you do!
I do, yeah. Do you know what? We should change that. We should get in touch and get everyone together.
Absolutely.
And we should change that.
That would be so
It's a great
fun.
game.
We met through D&D.
We did. That was an experience.
Do you wanna tell the story?
Yeah, sure. So my partner was running an evil one-shot game that became like an evil 3-shot.
Yeah.
It lasted a while because we were chaotic.
Oh, yeah.
And we literally met the first time at that time, and we realized that we both had very similar character concepts.
Mm-hmm.
And rather than making it a thing of rivalry, like a lot of people probably would have, we were like, no, we're gonna flirt. That's it. We're gonna make our characters like have a lot of fun together, be really respectful of each other, and do the flanter. It was great.
It was, and it was also streamed as well. And sadly, we don't have any of the content recorded because it was a good few years ago at this point now.
Yeah. Oh my god, how long was it?
That's a good question. I have a feeling I want to say 2018.
Yeah, I believe that.
I want.
It might have been 2018.
I don't know for definite, but I want to say 2018. While they were off doing very like serious business, serious DM stuff, we were just catching each other's eyes and like winking at each other and being like,
me.
We did that the entire time. We had never met each other before, never had any interaction with each other before, but immediately it was there. We knew. We were best friends immediately.
Literally remember him saying, like, I can't wait for you two to meet in real life and get to do this.
Yeah.
He's a good bean.
He is. It was so funny.
It was a great game.
My character was Magmalia Aya, and she was a Fire Ganassi monk.
She was very cool.
She was very cool.
She could have kicked my ass.
She could kick anyone's ass.
20 times over.
Yeah.
Yeah, a million times.
And your character was...
Sindara Cultus.
Yes.
Yeah, she was a... trying to remember. I think she was a half elf. She was a wildfire sorcerer. I think
so.
Oh no, it was some kind of dragon sorcerer because she had like a thing for dragons. She didn't have a thing for dragons. She like really respected and revered dragons, and she was looking forward to the day when she had a vision when she was younger that a dragon was going to burn the world down, and so she became an arsonist to try and help the way. Looking back now, it's not my most creative backstory, but it worked. He needed numbers, and I was kind of new to the game, so
yeah,
it did work.
Yeah, it was amazing. And then we messaged maybe on occasion after that, And then it wasn't until I jumped into one of his like long form campaigns. It was The Eyes of Pink and Gold.
Mm-hmm.
And I jumped in as a human fighter. I was the most basic of basics. And it's true. Human fighter is the most basic of basics.
It's like Tiefling Rogue, right? Edgy.
Edgy. And I was in it for the long haul. And I remember maybe 14 sessions in was when your character showed up.
Yeah, because the game ran on the day when he stayed over at mine. So like it sounds really bad. It makes him sound like really he's not he's a great boy. I love listening in. I would listen in. But I would like just be listening to one half of it. And so I'd kind of be sat there like, please pay attention to me. Please. I want to listen. And then I found out that you were actually in it.
Yeah.
Which really made me like really invested. So like I started listening in more intently. Like I previously would just like read a book or like play a video game during that time. Like, you know, we'd have our time together but apart. And I found out you were in it and I was like, I need to listen intently now, please. And he was like, well, why don't you play? And I was like, I'm on it. I'm on my hot girl shit. Let's do it. I'm going to create the most ridiculous character ever. She's going to be half elf, half tabaxi because I want to make a cat girl. Yeah. I'm not a cat girl. I wish. Maybe I am. Who knows? She was a bard blood hunter. She was a multi-class and she was obsessed with unicorns.
Yeah.
She had 2 platonic dads. They weren't dating, and I just wanted it to be really like weird and crazy and not make any sense, and she was going to be comedic relief. And then after like a few sessions she fell in love with your character who was in a relationship. Because you were the only one who stuck around while she underwent her blood hunter mutagen.
Yeah.
And it was 12 hours that you sat there holding her instrument.
Mm-hmm.
And when she woke up, you were the first thing she saw. And then that was when my little heart went. And I was like, oh no. Oh no. LGBTQ moment?
Gay?
Maybe gay? She was always gay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was
Rat.
in Pride Month.
So middle-aged.
It's appreciated. I love your old sense of personality.
Back in my day.
Back in that. No, we can't go.
We can't start that.
No. For those of you who have watched my latest YouTube video, you will understand that reference. And I apologize for that reference.
Don't. It's the best thing we have going for us, which is saying something. It's not. It's not. Oh my god, no. You have so many wonderful things going for you. Me, on the other hand,
I think you do, actually, because for that campaign, you created music for some of the characters. Because you were playing a bard, you were very true to in-game nature.
I tried really hard.
You did.
And by tried really hard, I mean I cried really hard, a lot. And my therapy is music, so...
Yeah. It was a campaign that was set out to be, you know, light-hearted and entertaining. Not that it wasn't entertaining, but it was meant to be, like, light-hearted and haha, we're just going through life and...
They always say that.
Fighting these things. Yep. And then it just became trauma central.
It did, especially for you. Oh my god, your girl had it so hard. Yes. She was like destroyed at every single turn. Mm-hmm. Every single thing that possibly could was out to get her.
Yeah.
It was and then there was like my girl next to her like, I will destroy the entire world to keep the person I love happy.
Yeah.
And the world keeps hurting her.
Yeah.
This is not good.
Not good.
They need to be protected.
Mm-hmm. And that was the beginning of a pattern for us. Because we continued to then make characters that had intertwining stories, and they were gay.
Yeah, just say it as it is.
Yeah.
Like, it's just gay. It's
I
gay.
really do think that Matt might potentially be worried about our relationship.
Oh my god, he just sits there every day. He's like so nervously sweating. What characters are you guys bringing to the table? And we're both like, oh yeah, I'm bringing forward this one. I'm bringing forward this one. Oh, thank God. Okay, cool. Now here's our backstories that are combined.
Yeah. Because we have...
We're in love and married with 12 kids.
Yeah. In every single universe.
Or it's a slow burn.
True.
We haven't done enemies to lovers.
We haven't... Ooh. Next character concept.
Yes, please.
So we started with not knowing each other, but our characters being best buds. Then kind of getting to know each other as our characters fell in love with each other. And now we actually have pirate wives and friends that go to wizarding school, nondescript wizarding school, that are they kind of love each other, but they never happen.
Yeah.
But how long had you been playing D&D when you joined the Eyes of Pink and Gold campaign?
Not long, because my first ever D&D session was in that bedroom that he ran the sessions when they first started, because that was actually how we got together. He heard that I was interested in D&D. He offered to run a session, a one-shot. He came to my house. I made him Bailey's hot chocolate. He helped me with character creation. I put fairy lights on around the room and like a star lamp projector, and I was like, you know, really invested and really excited. And it must have literally been like 4 or 5 months, 5, 6 months.
Yeah.
It wasn't long, because I still lived in that house. Wait, no. Might have been longer than that. How long did I live there? Uni was just like one big...
It's a big old blur.
Meshed, yeah, and not because of drinking, just because of like depression. Like
I can vibe with that.
And the D&D and like just fantasizing of being in another world didn't help my like time recollection.
Oh no, absolutely not.
It did help my grades though.
Hey.
It helped me cope. Yeah, coping mechanisms. It doesn't matter what your coping mechanism coping doesn't matter what your coping mechanism is. We got there.
Yeah.
If it helps, it helps.
It does. And a lot of people do say that D&D is therapy, and I would somewhat agree if I didn't have to go through therapy because of D&D.
I would say it's just Matt that does it, but
you also are a culprit.
Yeah,
because I have a character in one of your campaigns that you run who I did set her up to be a bit of an outcast. She's a ranger. She's meant to be an outcast. But also, I set her up with a dead best friend. So I really did, punch myself in the gut there with that one, and then you just really added to that.
I mean, you didn't really kill the best friend. Sorry, you didn't really unalive the best friend, I should say. You kind of just made them stone, and I can do what I want with that, so... yeah, unless they unalive on screen, they're not unalive, so... Writing rule 101, you know this.
Yeah.
I took what you gave me and I was like, now that's sad, but we can make it sadder. Well, did I make it sadder? I gave you him back.
Yes, but also there's a lot going on with his character. Guys, I really wish we had enough time to go through the entire of what this campaign has done to me and my character, but I don't think we have the time to do that.
You need like a D&D lore session, like just explaining all of the D&D games that you're in.
I honestly might do that at some point, because that sounds like if you're all interested, please tell me, and I will do that at some point. Potentially bringing on Lacey, and maybe someone else, who knows? Maybe mystery guest. Ooh. But where was I going with that?
We tangent.
We
do this all the time.
So much. We are really... What I have realised about putting us two in a room, because it's chaotic with a lot of my friends, but we are just, we're two like planets that smash into each other, and then there's just utter chaos, and the chaos doesn't stop because it goes on throughout the universe.
I'm just gonna say, Sam,
Uh-huh.
Matt would be disappointed if I didn't make this joke. I'm really sorry, but it's more like a planet and like a dwarf planet. Because I'm like a giant.
Height jokes. Yeah.
You're the perfect height though, Sam, because like I can cuddle you and hold you close to my heart.
Oh, I feel loved.
Matt will never get that. Matt will always be too tall.
You two are giants though, because I remember meeting you in person for the first time. And that was when we went to see Ninja Sex Party in Oxford. That was that 2019, I think.
I think so. Yeah, it was before Comic-Con.
It was before
Comic-Con. We met for the second time at Comic-Con and we watched Twilight Marathon together.
We did, and I lost my sanity during that.
Yeah, so did I.
Be honest with you.
But for a different reason. I was unwell.
Yes. So, backstory. I have been a fan of Game Grumps for a lot of years. Whenever Dan joined Game Grumps, that's when I joined Game Grumps, essentially. So I have also been a fan of Danny's side project, main project, I don't know, whichever, his band, Ninja Sex Party. So when they announced that they were touring Europe, immediately I was on. I really wanted the tickets, and then I couldn't get the tickets because I'm pretty sure I was on a flight or I was somewhere away from internet, so I couldn't get tickets. And then, lo and behold, a couple of months later, I get a message from Matt being like, "Hey Sam, you going to NSP?" "No, I'm not, Matt. Thanks for asking." "Okay, we're going to the Oxford one if you can get tickets." And so began my quest to find tickets to go and see Ninja Sex Party in Oxford.
That was a stressful time.
It really was, because I didn't even know if I had gotten real tickets, because they were taking so long to get to me that it was stressing me out. They were also very expensive because they were resold, so it was just a very stressful time. But we got there in the end.
We did.
Yeah.
It was great. That was like the first in-person time ever.
Yes.
Yeah.
You guys stood behind me like respectful tall people.
I would have put you on my shoulders if I was strong enough. I would have done it. You would have been the tallest person in there. No one could have touched you.
That would have been amazing.
Next time, I'll get buff.
You'll go to the gym just for me.
I'll be like, yo, tweet them and be like, "Hey, NSP, I got really buff so that I could lift my best friend on my shoulders for your concert." They'd probably like that.
They would. The
first time, I keep talking about Matt, god damn. The first time that we like hung out together, in a study sense, I had forgot my headphones, so he said I could share with him, and he played First Date and then Heart Boner.
Right. I have gripes with that. If you're just hanging out as friends, those are not the songs that you show your just friends.
What would you have shown? Okay, it's our first study date. We're sharing headphones. What are you showing me?
AJR. Any AJR song.
Yeah, your tattoo.
Yes. So I have a tattoo here of an AJR lyric. It's from the OK Orchestra album, and it says, "But I'm not dead yet, so I guess I'll be alright." And it is above the swords that mine and Lacey's wives in D&D have. Because I'm that kind of person. The insufferable kind.
I wrote that tattoo. That's my handwriting.
That is your handwriting. And it makes me happy every time I look at it.
Oh, we're going to go see them.
We are.
You need to show them that. And then be like, "Could you rewrite it again so it's actually good?" She did it.
I need better handwriting, please.
It's going to be our second concert together?
Yes,
After,
it will be.
Community was first, and this will be our second.
Yeah.
And then who knows where we'll go from there.
Hopefully more.
Hopefully more.
That's what I would show you. instead
Yeah.
of Heartburner and First Date, which are
I think he was giving me signs.
Yeah, he was definitely trying to be like, I'm into you, but also comedy, haha, dick jokes. Like, I reckon that was his way of being like, I like you, but I can't be serious about it because that's just too much.
Do you know what the thing is? I think I showed him sad indie girl songs, like depression songs. So I think I was very honest about myself too. I was like, don't look at me, I'm so sad.
We've covered how we first met and how we first met in person. Now, to cover the many years that our friendship has now spanned.
Oh, good things.
Timeline time! So we played D&D together. That was how we started bonding. And then we had a couple of times where we ended up doing share screen or whatever the website is that is probably an illegal website, so I'm not going to name the website. And we watched Markiplier videos together.
Oh yeah! Oh my god! I had. It's gonna sound. I don't want to sound insulting.
Okay, go for it.
I had a normal amount of interest in Markiplier until I became friends with you.
Ooh! Proper! Oh.
No, I was just like, oh, this is a YouTuber. And then I was like, Mark released a new video like 3 seconds ago. Do you want to watch it? We're gonna watch it together. I became obsessed with The Forest, like the series that he did with Bob and Wade. And now I'm obsessed with Distractable, which is incredible.
Such a good podcast. Highly recommend.
Good.
If you haven't listened to Distractable, go and listen to Distractable. I'm not getting paid to I'm not getting paid for this, but definitely go and listen to Distractable because it's great.
It's so good. It sounds really creepy. I listen to it to sleep. Because I used to fall asleep right after watching the episodes of The Forest they put out. So I became like accustomed to the screaming voices of Mark, Bob, and Wade.
Yeah.
And so I needed more of that because the thing I used to previously watch, which would have the screaming voices of Mark and someone else in, was taken down. Yeah. And I could never watch it again.
So, the channel Redacted.
We love Redacted.
The channel Redacted was a thing that existed for a year, and we actually watched the final live stream, the 12-hour live stream. We sat down. By the way, any of you who don't get the Redacted joke, the channel was Unis Arnis. I should probably say that. The channel was named Unis Arnis 1 year. And it was done by Markiplier and Crank Gameplays, Ethan Nestor. And it was a video every day. And I watched it religiously because the whole concept was it's going to end. Yeah, they will delete the channel. Before. Yeah. So everything they did with the intention of it never living on. Of course, the internet is the internet, and so there's people who have clips out there, people who ripped the entire videos sometimes, which completely defeats the point of it. But I watched those videos religiously because I knew that at some point I wouldn't be able to. Yeah. And so it came to the end of that year. They did a 12-hour live stream to finish it up. And I do believe that the 12 hours on LA time was like a normal day, you know?
Yeah.
For us, no.
It was like 7 o'clock at night, 8 o'clock at night?
Yeah, so I think it was 8 until 8 for us. So 8 p.m. till 8 a.m. for us. I'm pretty sure that most of the UK viewers kind of tuned in for the beginning, slept a little bit because it was going to go on for 12 hours, and then woke up for the last bit of it.
Yeah.
That's definitely what happened with Matt and a couple of other friends of ours who joined us in the Discord server, stayed around for a little bit, and then they were like, I'm tired now, I'm gonna go. Not me and Lacey, though. No
way, baby.
Nuh-uh, we stayed up for the entire 12 hours.
That was a choice.
It was a choice that we made. I think we had video call because we just wanted to hang out while we were doing it, and we watched each other sob.
It was really
It
emotional.
was. There was a
It really
lot that
was.
happened,
Yeah.
and they were also being very emotional on stream,
Yeah.
so that then provoked emotions within us.
Yeah. I mean, it was kind of a thing that was like a clutch to us specifically through like lockdown and everything as well,
Yeah.
because we couldn't go out and do things. And so seeing it like even, well, they did do lockdown as well, but like
Yeah.
seeing them get to do things kind of it was nice. It kind of made you feel like you were being productive, like you were doing stuff yourself, and you kind of weren't that alone. Like even though we all had each other online, it was just that nice other thing, like someone you can, sounds really corny to be like someone you can reach out to like at late at night as possible, but there was always a video there, you know.
Yeah.
So it was really emotional at the end,
Yeah.
and it was incredible to see it be done and to see them follow through with it.
Yeah.
It was fantastic.
It
It was
was
really
great.
good. We love Redacted.
We do love Redacted, and we miss Redacted, but we're not
We do.
like some people on the internet who clearly can't understand the rules of Redacted, and that kind of pisses me off a little bit because you have to respect the artist's integrity, and clearly
Mhm.
people don't.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I would sell my left kidney for more. Um, but but yeah, like it's kind of like performative art, and as someone who studied in the performing arts, you you do have to respect that. You know, there's a certain thing that an artist does that they create, and a certain way they will want it to be like presented as it
Yeah.
goes on. Sometimes that gets lost in history, but with something like this where they have complete control over it and they can take that away, you kind of need to respect that. It's like you wouldn't go and take a photo of like, I don't know, like a Banksy piece and then be like, yeah, I'm gonna sell this everywhere. I mean, I'm sure people do.
Yeah.
He's quite a popular artist, but like you need to respect it. And
Yeah.
specifically as what they wanted was to have it gone. It's like, oh, did you hear about that Banksy piece that was shredded at auction,
Yes.
which made it more valuable?
Yep.
They wouldn't have stitched it back together. So why save videos and re-upload them? You're losing the whole piece of it.
Hi guys, it's Sam from Chatting Chit here to interrupt this podcast to remind you that we are on Twitter and Instagram at Chatting Chit Pod. That is on Twitter and Instagram at Chatting Chit Pod. And because you're watching this on YouTube, did you know that you can find this on Spotify, Apple Music, and wherever you find your podcasts? Pretty fun, huh? I hope you're enjoying the podcast, and I will just, I'll leave you to it now. Have fun. So distance is a weird thing, right? Because even though we live in the same country, doesn't mean that it's easy to get to see each other because of time schedules and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So what we did during lockdown and, COVID times and that sort of thing, not saying that we're out of it, but we would always set up time to watch things together, because I'm pretty sure we watched the Cornetto trilogy together at some point.
We started to.
Yes.
We definitely watched Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah.
And then we didn't watch the other two because we
No, I
watched
think we
other
watched
stuff
Hot
and we
Fuzz.
played. Did we watch that one?
I think so.
Oh, okay. We should watch it again.
Yes.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
But yeah, like we played games together as well. You bought The Wolf Among Us for me, and I played
did.
it with you.
That was one of my big things, was making sure that you were able to play games that you wanted to play, because you had seen both me and Matt stream it, and I knew that you really wanted to play it for yourself, so I was just like,
So good.
here, have a game that I
It
really
made me
enjoy.
really happy.
Yeah.
Like I'd watched YouTubers. I think I watched 3 different YouTuber playthroughs of it when it first came out, just to see like the different endings and things. And it was like, sounds weird to say, it was a really special game to me given the like topics.
Yeah.
But it was because it was really different. So it was a really good game to me, and I was really excited. And when you got it for me, like I think I cried. Um, and we would dedicate like to either a day a week or every few days to just like playing together and then like watching films, and
Yeah.
that was really important, especially again during like lockdown times.
Yeah. I talked about this a little bit on a different podcast, but I feel like my love language is quality time. And so that's the only thing that really matters to me. So if I can't be around people, then I'm going to find a way to be around people, because there was so much isolation throughout COVID times, but also I was in a city where I didn't really have many friends, because I had who I worked with, I had who I lived with, but all of my uni friends had moved back home because they had no reason to stay because of COVID. Like, all our lessons weren't happening, so we weren't seeing people in person. And I found it really useful to be able to spend time with you and the guys online, because then I had that sense of community that I was missing out on. And so when Phasmophobia came out, of course I was on that immediately, because you were the one who suggested it. And I was like, okay,
I love
I'll play
that game.
this.
I'm just like sad about my potato computer because it can't handle the new updates.
Yeah.
The new
We'll,
updates made it too big.
we need to get you a non-potato computer, or just up the
I will one
potatoes in
day.
your computer.
Yeah, I mean, it's making it hard to even do art now. Like,
Oh no.
I can barely like do a pen stroke without it massively lagging.
Oh gosh.
So it's time. She's been a soldier, but yeah, I might start investing soon
Yeah.
and start looking at getting a really fancy one, and then
Yeah.
we can play games all the time. We need to play some Dead by Daylight because you played that before and you were like, I need friends to play with it. I
Please.
was like, here.
I would absolutely love to play Dead by Daylight, because I played it on my own for a little bit, and it's not great if you're playing it on your own. I do feel like you need to have friends to play that with, even if it's a couple of people, and you don't have to have the whole setup of like you've got 5 people, one's a killer, the rest are survivors. As long as you have somebody there to just be screaming with him, then that's all
Yeah.
that matters.
Yeah. Also, I'm going to definitely drag you into playing the forest with me because I want building Fort Chaos, um, and surviving against monsters.
That sounds
Yeah.
like a plan.
Yep. All of the co-op games, honestly.
Yes.
I want to do more things that involve just like laughter, and like we play Stardew Valley sometimes. We have a
We
farm
do.
together, and
Yes.
that's so nice and chill. But I do want to scream in terror with my friends every now and then.
That's the only reason I got into Phasmophobia, was you suggested it, because we had all been watching YouTubers play it.
Mm.
And if you can't tell, listener, YouTubers play a big role in a lot of mine and my friends' lives. And that is not helped by the fact that we are kind of the internet generation. We were born into, or no, the internet was born into our lives
Mm.
during our lifetime. So we are very heavily on the internet, but not chronically on the internet. I think there's
Yeah.
a difference there for sure.
Like we can either be on the internet all night or read a book.
Yeah. I feel like that's maybe the difference between millennials and Gen Z, and like or like millennials and the in-betweens that don't really have a name, and then Gen Z, is that Gen Z seems to be very chronically online, whereas everyone else they have the ability to be very chronically online, but there's also
Yeah.
we like seeing sunlight and touching grass.
Well, you say that. I think like my mum and her generation are very chronically online.
Yeah.
Uh, she's glued to her phone all the time. Facebook, 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 Facebook. Like it's a thing of like I reckon there is like a certain little pocket of adults who were just before us, like who when it came out and it became so good because like I still remember having to like plug in the Ethernet
Yeah.
to get the internet to work.
Yeah.
But like my mum was like a dial-up baby. So obviously having it like go even more so like remembering like when it was made to having it be so good now, it's like this incredible new thing that like that it is so good, it's hard to not be in it.
Yeah.
Whereas Gen Z has the other thing, they've grown up with it always there, so it's just a part of life. Then there's us in the middle who are like, Heelys, right?
But
I
Heelys
would kill for a
though.
pair of Heelys.
Mhm.
Like, it is the Heelys generation that is like, no, we could do either. Yeah.
We are the Heelys
Little pocket
generation.
between. We are the Heelys. I miss my Heelys.
I actually had to tell off a kid from skating through my workplace because they were like, you know, when you
not.
I didn't want to. They were having fun, but they were gonna hurt themselves.
Fun? Oh my god, you crushed a child's fun.
I know. But they were like slingshotting each other. You know, when you grab someone and
you
like
gonna hurt yourself.
fling them.
I take it all back. It all back. Destroy the fun. Destroy the fun or they're gonna get injured.
Yeah. So they were like slingshotting each other and like just sending each other down the walkway. And of course, there's other people in the store, and our fixtures are also not very fun to run into. So it was one of those things where it's
I can imagine that.
I had to go over and be like, hey guys, do you mind not doing that? You might hurt yourselves. Thank you. So my point was that
we keep doing this. I'm sorry.
We do this. I'm sorry, listener. Get used to this. It's going to be an hour of this. But because YouTubers were so like engraved into our upbringing almost, we find everything that we do through YouTubers mostly. So when Lacey came to me with the idea of playing Phasmophobia, it was because we had seen YouTubers playing it.
And also it was on sale for £2.
It was also on sale for £2.
It's not anymore!
No. It's become a much different game from the early days. I have seen a lot of people almost having a heart attack with what the game now can produce.
Potato, you're going. I need to sort a new computer because I need this. We so need to get on it again. We really, if I have to wipe everything on my hard drive just to play this game,
Factory
I will.
reset, let's go.
You know, one thing I do whenever I go to visit Matt's is I usually at some point spend at least 6 hours in a row playing The Sims 4. Just bring it out on the Switch.
The Sims
Why are you not doing that?
They would get so many sales on the Switch.
Yeah, they would. They'd get so many sales on everything.
They would. They used to port it to consoles. Was it Sims 3 that they stopped porting it to the consoles, or was it Sims 2 that they... But, like, they used to port it to consoles.
Yeah, now it's on Origin. You have to go through the Origin, like, thing to download it. Because now I think that they bought EA, or... I don't really know.
Yeah, I don't really keep up with EA and Origin. I'm not a big... I used to be a huge Sims fan. Like, I had all of the games. I didn't have all of the expansion packs because you have to be a millionaire for that.
I don't even have all of them, but my favourite... Like, I would go feral around Black Friday because they would, like, release, like, 70% off if you buy an expansion pack, a stuff pack, and a game pack. So I would buy, like, 3 or 4 packs at a time and, like, ruin my money. And Mum would be like, what Christmas presents have you bought? And I'm like...
For me?
Yeah, for myself.
I've bought all presents for me. Is that what you're asking?
Waiting for payday. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Yeah.
I haven't played as much of Sims 4 though, because I feel like there's so much that they've lost from the other games that just... I don't know. And they are trying to push people to play Sims 4 before they make Sims 5. But they're not including what people are missing from Sims 3 and Sims 2.
Yeah, also they've separated a lot of packs that were previously sold as multiple things. Like they've released like the Magic School one and the Vampires one and the Occult one, and now they're just releasing the Werewolf one. They've released them all separately.
Wait, they're all separate?
Whereas before, yeah. And there's also the Supernatural pack, which is another thing. But they've released them all separate, whereas in every single previous game, they've all been one pack that you can get.
Oh my gosh.
So, Yeah, and when they released toddlers,
Yeah.
they only released a few. It was mainly gameplay stuff and a few furniture items. They then released a toddlers stuff pack, so you
No.
had to buy that if you wanted the extra stuff. And when they released pets, they released a pet stuff pack, so you had to buy that if you wanted to get like hamsters, parrots, like all of these extra things, all of this other stuff for your pets. So it's been a bit money grabby,
Yeah.
which has been really kind of like upsetting considering some of the stuff packs. Like I'm a lover of Sims 4. Like I'm a lover of The Sims, I'm a lover of all things Sims, but I will be like the first to admit that as a person with like lots and not a lot of money,
Yeah.
it does really put you off buying anything when everything is so separate and very obviously like a grab for money.
Yeah. That's
Oh,
rough.
and there was a massive slap in the face, because around like the 15th or 20th anniversary of The Sims, they were like, "We've got a really big thing coming for you all. Check out your games for a free download." And everyone was like, "Oh my god, is it going to be a game thing? Is it going to be like new items?" It was a hot tub.
You're kidding.
It was a hot tub. Um, that
That's
was all it
just
was.
that's really underwhelming.
It could have been a patch. It could have
Yeah.
been, bug fixes, it could have been new missions, it could have been anything.
Could have been a
For the,
color wheel.
like, 20th or for, like yeah, like, 15th anniversary or, like, 20th, it was, like, a big milestone,
Yeah.
and it was a hot tub.
That's not okay.
Yeah, a lot of people were very unhappy.
Yeah.
They were like, "Look, we understand it's a lot to make these games, but some of us have bought every single item or have spent a ridiculous amount of money on you guys for years, and,
Yeah.
like, a hot tub?"
Yeah, that's
Which I
not.
think was an item that was already in game. It was just a different, like, mesh or whatever you wanna
Oh
call it.
no.
So it was like yeah.
That's
I didn't look
bad.
at a lot of the controversy because I see controversy online and I'm like, "I'm gonna step back from that."
Yeah. It's
Um,
best for our mental health to not get involved in the
yeah,
drama.
definitely.
But that for an anniversary of The Sims is very underwhelming, especially when people
Mhm.
have been expecting them to add back in like the story function. I don't know if that is still
They have introduced something called storylines. I haven't played through it yet,
okay.
um, but I think it is like a guided playthrough thing.
Right.
Um But yeah, I've just not started a new storyline recently because my computer can't handle it, and I
Yeah.
think that would take up a bit too much time when I'm staying with Matt, and I
Yeah.
usually only play it when he's out of the house.
Yeah.
So, like, it would take me more time than just the hours that he is away to
Yeah.
play through a storyline.
But they used to have in Sims 2, like Sims 1 and Sims 2, they had where you could take photos. This function I abused as a kid because you could take photos or snapshots and then you could write descriptions for them and then upload them to the Sims online community. And I would write
Mm.
stories with that. I
That
would
is so cute.
I would make a load of characters and stick them all in one world, and I would take photos and then I'd be able to put them all in like set folders and create all stories, and I would write out like paragraphs upon paragraphs.
Creative
And
writing.
yeah,
Love it.
creative
You can see where
writing.
you got it, yeah.
Yeah. And I lost all of that when my game crashed. I can't
No!
remember why my game crashed, but it crashed and I had to reinstall every single disc that I had. And at that point, when I got into it and I realized that all of my stories had gone, I was just like, no, I can't, I can't
That's
play this.
tragic.
Yeah. And so I had lost all of that, and then they released Sims 3, and I was like, okay, I can start fresh. That's fine. I would have started fresh with this new game anyway. It's all good.
Mm.
They didn't have that. That was one of the functions that they did not have,
Yeah.
and it made me so. You could still take pictures, but you couldn't
Yeah, you
add
can do
long
that in Sims 4.
descriptions to it, and it
Yeah,
made me so sad.
and you can't upload it in the community.
No.
Like, because I think the community build shares households, lots, and rooms.
Yeah.
It doesn't do, like, pictures anymore, which is sad. Do you know what I remembered what you were saying about that? That's tried
What?
really hard to not cringe out at.
I'll go.
were you in the part of YouTube when you were younger that did those really dramatized Sims 3 stories that were like music videos?
Oh my god. I wasn't
And
part
they were
of
always
that.
like really cringy nightcore. Like I would watch them obsessively.
I knew about that and I watched 1 or 2. I was not hardcore into that, but oh, you've unlocked something that I hadn't thought about in years.
Yeah. I would use them to like get inspiration for like cool houses to make and things and like
Oh my
storylines and
gosh.
stuff. But a lot of them were a lot darker than like say an 11, 10-year-old should have been looking at the time.
Yeah. I do remember watching one that was like a Castaways one, where it was island based and it was kind of like Survivor.
Yeah.
And I remember watching that one, but man, that's a very locked away memory that you've just unlocked for me.
So video games, man.
Video games, man, it's great. It's always the games that have you escape to a different life that is exactly the same as your life. Because The Sims, it's quite literally a
It's just a
simulator of
simulator.
life.
Yeah. Well, I don't think that I was like frequently setting fire to myself while baking.
No, very true. They could set fire to anything so easily.
Do you know what was really like worrying now I look back?
Go for it.
We had like a family computer when
Yeah.
Sims 2 was out, and we had our family all made on there. And I would do everything I could to ruin Simme's life. There was this little girl with a fairy ballerina costume on with fairy wings
Oh
and little
my
pigtails,
gosh.
and I would do everything I could to ruin her life. And I look back now and I'm like, they should have been nicer to me because a lot of things make sense now.
The Sims
Yeah.
has weird voodoo powers, and it's actually, I really hope it doesn't, because some of the things, because of course, like every 10-year-old female at the time made me and my crush, so I really hope that it
I used to
wasn't
make
weird
married
voodoo
Sims have
magic.
affairs. I try and ruin their households because I wanted to buy their houses, so I needed them. I was like, I can't just move out their whole family. I've got a divorce. So I'd always wanted to buy like this one particular house. I think it was the goth house.
Oh my gosh.
So I'd make the family have an affair, like ruin them.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's good times.
I love how there were actual storylines for those characters, like the pre-built characters, and most of us did not care.
It couldn't have been the goth house, thinking about it now. Because Balagoth disappeared. That was like a big storyline, wasn't it? She's
Yeah.
just in The Sims 4, by the way.
She's back?
She's just there.
Oh.
Also, they didn't include Strangerville in The Sims 4 original base game. You had to buy it as a game pack. And it was like some military base. It's like a mystery game, which is like a storyline game.
Right.
So it's supposed to be really good, but I've never played it.
Yeah. Oh my
But
god.
yeah, Bella's just in Sims 4.
As
This
you
became
do.
like a whole Sims 4 talk. Like, what's going on?
It's such a strange contrast from earlier on when we couldn't focus on one topic at all.
Yep. Now we're just like hyperfixation on The Sims.
Sims
It's
4.
like, do you know what? It's in the game. I swear to God, they put it in the game.
Yeah.
It's just like when you play it, you have to play it for like 13 hours a time. Talking about it,
Oh
you
my
have to talk about it
gosh.
for 14 hours at a time.
No.
We're in the loop. We need to break the loop.
Thing is, I didn't have The Sims 3. Like, I did have The Sims 3, but I sold it, I think, because I always had the disc form. I sold it. I sold the original Sims because I had the original Sims collection. I had Sims 2 and a couple of packs for that. At some point, I sold it because I was like, I don't play these anymore. I only have a laptop. My laptop can't run it. I'm gonna sell these. And then my housemate brought all of their Sims games up from the Southwest and was like, I have all of these digitally now. Do you want these discs? So of course I said yes.
Dangerous
And
move.
it was the most dangerous move because it was during exam season.
Not anymore.
During the peak of when I had to be writing essays upon essays, and I started downloading them, and I was like, it's fine, I'll download them, I'll set them downloaded, and then I'll play them after as a report. They downloaded and I played them within the hour.
Yeah, that's what I was imagining would happen. You
Yeah.
can't not,
No.
right? Like it's obsessive.
Yeah, and then I think I played it for a week straight when I was meant to be doing essays. And so I had to, after that week, stop cold turkey because I don't know what it is with the Sims games. They put crack in it. They must do. Like, it's something.
It's why they're so expensive.
It must be.
It just comes out of your computer. Quick, get your tinfoil hats on.
It's the conspiracy. But they must put something in that game because
Putting
it's
something
just,
in the water.
It's just so addictive.
It is. It
And
really is.
the irony was that I was putting SimMe through university while I was appointing my
And
university.
you couldn't even do your own. For shame. For shame. No, I'm kidding. Same.
This is the first time that
I'm
I've
still
admitted
finishing
to that.
my degree now. Like,
Yeah.
I'm still doing it.
You are. I'm proud of
Yeah.
you though, because you could have just given up, and you
I mean,
haven't.
I'm still doing my degree. I'm not actively as much as I should be working on it, but because everything happened, like
Yeah.
life got really terrible, and I had to make the active choice to be like, no, I'm not gonna hand in mediocre work this year. I would
Yeah.
like to delay, and hand it in then, and then I didn't hand it all in, and I was
Yeah.
like, look, I've had a really hard time, and they were like, 2-year extension. I was like, thank you.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, that's partly down to your endometriosis, right?
Yes. Yeah, it was.
And do you, for the listeners and viewers at home, do you want to explain what that is?
Yeah. So endometriosis is it's kind of now reaching a bit of a limelight, but not massively so. It is a condition in which your endometrial layer of your womb is whack, bro. And it doesn't really grow in the right places. And it becomes sort of like aggressive. And it can cause internal bleeding every month. It can fuse your organs together. It can be found in your brain, in your eye, and your heart. Mine fused. I'm gonna get a bit TMI here, but I'm already in it.
Yeah.
Mine fused my womb to my my bowel, I think it was, and fused itself back along my spine. And every month I'd have this internal bleeding and this really big pain. I've always had really, really horrible periods.
Yeah.
And it was always the same thing of just suck it up, it's fine, it's just period pains. Here, have some ibuprofen. Didn't work.
Yeah.
Here, stick some heat on it. Didn't work. I went through different pills. I've been on both types of pill. I had a coil which actually got dislodged, and I bled on that like every single day. I was in agony every single day. I missed 3 months of university
Yeah.
because I was just in pain. I went into A&E on like the 1st of January, and this nurse, I'd come in on gas and air on an IV morphine drip, and I was still screaming in agony, and she was like, I think you have endometriosis, so let's take this coil out. She took my coil out. And then I did all the shebang. I did the ultrasound scans, which you can't see it on anyway, so it's weird that they make you do that. They
Yeah.
said, oh yeah, you've got a big like dark shadow here. let's send you for an MRI, which can't pick it up properly anyway. So they were like, yeah, you've got a really thickened, like, weird line here. Turns out that was my ligament, which was covered in it. And they were like, we're going to send you in for surgery just to see if you have it, because that's the only way you can tell. Is through a laparoscopy. So you have to have surgery to be diagnosed, which is really kind of harrowing.
Yeah.
And it's why they're really studying it now. Well, there's many reasons why they're really studying it. It can ruin people's lives.
Yeah.
For all intents and purposes, in really bad cases, it's a disability because it ruins your life.
Yeah.
100%. Every single day is pain. Your weight fluctuates because you're eating loads or you're not eating at all. Your mood can be vile, your hormones are everywhere, you have like extra hair in places, you can have nausea, you can have like tummy problems. There's like so many bits that come to it that just ruin everything.
Yeah.
And I had my surgery. My ligament was ruined. They had to remove that. So if I ever have a child in the future, which is also a chance I may never get,
Yeah.
because it makes it really hard. Also, before my surgery, I don't know if I ever told you this.
Oh.
The doctor pulled me aside and was like, "Yeah, we're also going to drain the cyst on your ovary." I was like, "What?" They were like, "Yeah, you have polycystic ovarian syndrome."
Oh gosh.
And I went, "No, I don't." And they were like, "Yeah, you do, like right there." And I was like, "That's one to hit on me half an hour before I go into theatre."
Yeah.
So those things kind of go hand in hand sometimes. Sometimes I'm not the expert. So I had that surgery, removed my ligament, got my womb away from my spine and my bowel. Um, my favorite term, they gave me what was called a rectal shave, um, meaning that they scraped the endometriosis off of the like inside of like my body.
Yeah.
I didn't just sit in there and have a nice little salon sesh for my butt. Um, oh yeah, and just like a little highlight, please. Just a slight trim. No, yeah. It was hard. But then, like, the pain continued. I had my first surgery in my second year of uni,
Yeah.
and that was horrible. Like, I was missing classes, I was failing classes. I was in, like, a group for an ensembles project, and they kicked me out because I wasn't there enough. Um,
Which couldn't have
I
been
still
helped.
have gripes with that because I was the only one organising practice days.
Oh
Makes
god.
me really angry.
Yeah.
Anyway, aside from that,
Yeah.
ruined my second year, and then it continued to ruin everything. Everything got worse.
Yeah.
And they took me into the hospital again, New Year's Day again, ironic. Uh, and they originally sent me home because they were like, yeah, it's nothing. The doctor was kind of insulting.
Yeah.
She said, like, because I had run out of my painkillers. And she said, "Yeah, I just find it funny that you're here when you've run out of painkillers." And she proper, like, stared me down, and I was like, You just don't get it. You
Yeah.
just don't get it. I'm not here for fun, if that's what you're insinuating.
Yeah.
I'm really not. It's New Year's Day. Um, I'm in pain. I'm in agony."
Yeah.
And then another lovely doctor, a junior doctor actually,
Oh.
he brought me in, the next time I was rushed into A&E, which was once a month. And he was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna get a scan for you. I'm gonna get you booked into a scan." And he did that day, and they said, "Yeah, there was a complication in your last surgery." Um, I should also explain. Surgery for a laparoscopy is meant to be an hour and a half.
Mhm.
My first surgery was 4.5 hours. And they phoned my mum halfway through the surgery after 3 hours and said, "There's been a complication. She's still in surgery." So my mum went to the chapel, bless her.
Yeah.
Not a praying woman. She went to the chapel and she was praying because she didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
And they said, because of that complication, your last surgery, your ovary has stuck to your womb and it needs to be freed. So they had to do another one to do that. Um, but I am happy to say that it has pretty much like fixed me. So I can function like a normal person,
Yay!
like semi. Sometimes I have to have a day off if I'm in pain because pain's not cured. Um, it it is more manageable. Like I don't really have to call into A&E as often.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's just a really hard disease condition to have because there's so little we know about it,
Yeah.
and there's so many awkward steps that it takes to get to that diagnosis. Like both the scans, which can't diagnose it, blood
Yeah.
tests, which you have to have that can't diagnose it, and then needing the surgery as a diagnosis.
It's
Some people just don't have time for that.
no, yeah, it doesn't seem as though it feels like it is an invisible illness almost
Yeah.
because there up until recent years hasn't been enough research into it and people from so I know less about this than you do because I as far as I am aware do not have this condition but we have in our private conversations Lacey and I have
Mm.
explained that like I do suffer quite a lot when it comes to my periods.
Yeah.
So it is potentially something that I would want to look into in the future.
100%. I say this to everyone. I say this to everyone if they come to me and they're like, I have really bad periods. I'm like, go and get it checked out. Bring
Yeah.
up the word because unless you do, they may not think about it
Yeah.
because it's not a thing that people think about it. You know, it's you need to know the lingo, and that is a shame, but you
Yeah.
do need to know the lingo, even if you suspect it could be PCOS, which is still horrible. It's like the more likely one before endo. But if you speak to your doctor and they say, yeah, we can do a test, you got PCOS, definitely bring up endo.
Yeah.
Even if you suspect, if you don't have PCOS and you don't know, bring up endo, 100%.
Yeah.
Speak to someone, try
But
and get it diagnosed. You need to.
because I don't know as much about the topic, I can't speak
Mm.
to a wide audience about it, but I have seen stories online where it's been people who have not been believed about the pain that they are going through. And it has taken them almost years to fight for being seen to and getting that operation and getting that diagnosis. And that is it feels ridiculous to me because there's other illnesses that deal with that, but they are usually mental illnesses that have that kind of stigma of oh no it's fine just take these meds and you'll be fine or you know I'll just come back to me in a couple of months time see if it's changed.
Yeah.
It seems strange to me that there's so much fight for trying to get mental illness to be seen as an illness
Yeah.
that when there's something like endometriosis where there is only one way to diagnose it, that it's an invisible illness that is it's strange to me that it's treated the same way as mental illnesses.
Yeah, there's so many hoops that you need to jump through, but we also cannot ignore the fact that, um, like mental health, specifically as well, like especially men's mental health, like
Yeah.
that's ridiculous. Like not even going to go into that rabbit hole. It makes me furious.
Yeah.
Women's health and menstrual health, because not only women menstruate,
Yeah.
um, is not taken seriously
No.
at all because it's just it's just a period. Like I was in A&E with terrible periods since I started having them at 15.
Yeah.
I was 21 when I was diagnosed. I can't do math,
That's a
but
lot of
that's a long
years.
time.
Yeah.
And that was a long time of doctors telling me, change your diet, lose some weight. And also, because it causes hormone imbalance, it caused my mental health issues. It caused my depression. It caused my anxiety.
Yeah.
It could have caused hemiplegic migraines that I have that ruined my brain when I was 17 and made it really hard for me to read now. and I had to completely reteach myself new things again, just because of the issues. There's so many other health issues that it can trigger and cause. It can cause like a ridiculous amount of other things. It
Yeah.
can also be an answer. So if you do have horrible like pains and you're really depressed and you like gain weight easily, or you like all of these little things, they can all add up to something. They can add up to a million other things as well. I'm not a doctor,
Yeah.
but it's just worth knowing about,
It is. Yeah.
Like, if it's something you can fight for, might as well, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because your health is the most important thing.
Yeah. And you recently became an ambassador for a company that is trying to beat the stigma on this. Do you want to tell people
Yeah.
more about that? Because I was really excited about this when you told me.
Yeah, so I'm not like paid by them or anything. In Endometriosis Awareness Month, they did a campaign. It was basically mainly advertised through like March and April. But they did this campaign of, it was a very simple thing. They have these products which are, I actually have some.
Yeah, show them off.
Show you. This company is called BU, and they have these things called monthly patches, which are, they're like, those deep heat patches
Yeah.
that you can put on your body, but they're cooling, and they are like completely like herbal and natural ingredients, and they just sort of gently release a little bit of medication to like ease the area like a deep heat would. And they were giving those away if you used a code. And so they said, hey, you have endometriosis. We've been trying to like reach out to you. Can we have a talk with you about what we're trying to do to raise awareness? And I was like, of course. So we had this chat. They were wonderful. The woman I spoke to was so lovely. They just wanted to get the word out there, and that's all it was. And they were just giving away patches so that it kind of raised awareness, because
Yeah.
people love free things.
Oh yeah.
And if that gets people to hear the word and know about it, then yeah, all the more reason. I'm happy for any opportunity to raise awareness as to what it is and to sort of share like the experiences. And if someone can listen to that and turn around and go, oh yeah, I relate to that, that sounds a bit like me, then that can maybe take them on the path to getting it cured. And BU shared all of those values. They were like, we want people to share their stories. We want people to know about it. We don't want to just it to be a small conversation. We want it to be like a shout. We want everyone to hear about it, whether they want to or not, because not
Yeah.
everyone wants to know about periods.
Oh yeah.
But you know what? It's 2022. People bleed.
Yeah.
Get over it, okay?
Yep.
People bleed. And some people really struggle with that bleed, and that's
Mhm.
okay. It's okay. You can have a messy period. You can have a painful period. Have a heavy flow. I don't care.
Yep.
You need help, you get help. It's
Yep.
as simple as that. And I loved that they were so like unashamedly like open about everything they do. And they were just lovely. They were so nice.
Yeah.
They sent me some of the patches so I could try them out. They said, we don't want you to advocate for anything that you're not happy with. So I tried the patches out. They were a miracle. Like, they were lovely.
Yeah.
They didn't fix everything. I was very open about that because I had some videos on my TikTok sort of explaining it so people could use the code. They're not a fix, but they help. And if you can have something that takes you towards living your day-to-day life a little bit easier, it's worth it.
Oh yeah.
It's 100% worth it. Living your life as normally as possible for a lot of people like myself is a luxury. Like, we don't get it. Even with people with mental health issues, will understand that living life like normally is a massive luxury.
Oh, absolutely.
And if you can have something to help that, love it.
Yeah.
Love it. So I was like, I'm in, boo. I got you. I'm gonna tell everyone I know. So that was like a really fun thing to do.
And I just want to say, for any listeners that are uncomfortable with this conversation, good. Good, like, good. At least you're listening to it, and you're, enduring it seems like the wrong word to say, but you are, by listening to this, you are helping with lessening the stigma around it,
Yeah.
because I have always been kind of reserved and quiet about myself and any kind of illness, or like, I've always been big on advocating for good mental health and trying to, you know, sort out what is going on in my brain. But anything health-wise, as in physical health, I have always been very quiet about it. If I hurt myself or if I am sick, I won't let anyone know. I don't like letting people know, and I don't like reaching out for help. Yeah, I know. Lacey's about to hit me. I don't like. I have never liked reaching out for help, ever.
It's
So
hard because
it
it's
is.
admitting. People don't like to admit that they're not okay.
Yeah, but this kind of conversation is essential to everyone being in the conversation rather than just the people that are suffering. And I think that's important about every kind of cause, is that everyone should be involved, not just the people that are suffering. And the people who find it awkward, good. Listen.
Yeah.
Make it less awkward for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's a little bit about about Endo, and if you felt uncomfortable but you still listen to it, good, you've learned something.
I can send you some links to stick in the bottom of the YouTube video if that's something that you would like.
Yes,
because
no, absolutely.
I can give some more educated examples.
Yeah.
From reliable sources than me explaining it, because
Yeah.
my story is one in a million. Like, there's so many people who suffer from it. Like, everyone has a different case, everyone has a different story, symptoms are different from all people. And then there are also people who can explain the science a bit better than me.
Yeah. So we will put those links both in the description of the YouTube video and in the podcast description, because I found out that that is a thing that you can do.
Yeah. I'm so proud of you.
I'm learning how to do this podcasting thing. It's great.
That's another thing. People need to do more of that.
What, making their dreams come true?
It.
Yes.
Yeah. It's like I was a big sad person for a long time. I was like, I don't know what I want to do. Life is just capitalism and I can't be happy. And then Matt was like, what do you want to do? And I was like, I want to be an artist. And he was like, okay,
do it.
Christmas, here's a tablet. Go on then. And that was so freeing. Like,
yes.
to just get to like do things that you love. So freeing.
Promote it. Let's do this. Promote your shit.
What, now?
Yeah, now.
Oh, okay. I do art, mainly like fantasy art and like portrait work. I've started a new thing called Kids to Heroes, where I take like pictures of like people get commissions. I'm working on one for my sister and one for my niece, don't tell her, which is where I take pictures of like kids who have been heroes and I turn them into like adventuring heroes, with like their little gear and everything, with like familiars, and I give them like backdrops that look like they're off on a grand adventure, which is really cool.
Oh my gosh.
I've done like concept sheets for people's characters, so they've got like a full range of emotions and things, like full body images. Like, I just love it. It's so much fun because you get people who come to you and like, look, I have this thing in my mind, make it real. And you could be like, I got you. Okay, let's get that image out of your mind and onto paper, something that you can show people. 100%. I love it so much. I'm on Twitter under _ Lacey-Love _ and I'm on Instagram. Can't remember my username for that because it's complicated. I think it's Lacey-Love _art.
I will pop it in the description.
Look at my stuff. I recently started running a Patreon, which is so cute because every month I do a sketch of people's OCs or D&D characters for them, like a little bus sketch, and it's been so fun. It's been such a nice exercise for me, and just hearing people talk really passionately about the characters that they've created and that they love. And it's really funny, like I run for like some of the higher tiers, there's a monthly raffle where they can win like a full color full shading like bust piece every month. And one of my friends who was in my Patreon account has won it 2 times in a row. So now I owe them 2 of these pieces, but they've been so busy they haven't been able to tell me what they want. So I'm like, I need to start.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just great fun. I love art. I love creating. Like I've always created. You know me. Like you said about how I write songs.
Yeah.
Like I write my own music. I love to draw. I cosplay. I do like the more the better.
Yeah.
Like jack of all trades, master of absolutely none of them, but I'm having a good time.
Yes.
That's how it should be, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
It's
it's good. It's fun.
I definitely remember finding out that you were a cosplayer and my need to push myself to be a cosplayer at that point was like through the roof because I had always been I will do this thing. I will do this thing. I will do this thing. I'm not doing the thing. Why am I not doing the thing? Please start doing the thing. And then it took seeing you at like post I think it was it was your one from was it a Final Fantasy character? It was your
I've done a lot of cosplays.
No, not Final Fantasy. I don't know the anime games.
The anime games.
The one where you're dressed as like a racer girl, Cindy something.
Oh yeah, from yeah, she's from Final Fantasy.
I knew
Yeah,
things.
Cindy, yeah. With the little booty shorts and the big
Yeah.
yellow jacket and the cap. Yeah. I still have all those pieces.
I love that.
I haven't cosplayed her in a while though. But I'm gonna get into it one day. I'm gonna get back to it. I just need to get a bit healthier, build myself back up, get myself back to a point where I'm ready to face the world and fight the world.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
But
I'm gonna do it.
seeing that and then finding out that you cosplayed, and then also when we met, you were dressed as Adora from
I
She-Ra.
was. Yeah, and my friend was Katra, and we were doing the
Yes.
prom.
That also that sparked my interest in She-Ra, seeing you guys cosplay as that.
Oh.
So that's why I ended up watching that series.
That's so cute.
And then unintentionally, our characters in D&D ended up being Adora and Katra.
Look, I didn't plan it.
No, actually didn't plan it, but it ended up that way.
No, I actually didn't, yeah.
And so seeing all of that, I was just like, okay, that's it, I'm doing it. And so when I did eventually join TikTok, because I didn't really want to, and I was very against it, and then I did join it, I began posting cosplay content because you had inspired me to actually stop saying I'm gonna do this and just do it.
Yeah, it's honestly, TikTok was what like really got me dedicating myself to my cosplay. Back when it was Musically. I've been on it since 2016.
Oh my gosh.
One of my videos has actually currently resurfaced and started to go viral again from 2018.
Really?
And the captions are just full with 2018, oh my god. Because it's like a really cringe little dance thing as well. Because that's what it was back then. But like TikTok was my massive driver. Like I did a thing where I followed a Halloween tutorial to do some mermaid makeup. And before then, like I had maybe 20 views a video. I did this makeup and I did one video of me taking it all off.
Yeah.
And overnight, it was like hundreds of thousands of views. And I had like 20,000 followers, just like that.
Yeah.
And it was this thing of like, people liked this. Like that's quite cool. Like people liked it and people did. And it was really cute. And I had that sweet little community going on.
Yeah.
And it was just really fun. Like the cosplay community can be incredible.
Yeah.
I had to stop because health.
Yeah.
And now I don't post as much anymore. But it's almost a social hobby as well, cosplay.
Yeah.
Because it's not just, well, you do make it for yourself.
Yeah.
But it's not just for yourself because every time that you make a cosplay, you are also making it for that one person on the other side of the screen who loves that thing as well, or who, has a nostalgia for that thing.
Well, we've been saying that we have so many plans. And I
We
really
do.
want
We
to
need to cosplay the
start working
wives.
on them. We do need to cosplay the wives, but we also have said that we would do characters from RWBY, and that I was gonna do Blake and I think you were gonna do Weiss.
Yep, I still have my OG Weiss somewhere, like that I made back in 2014.
I love it so much. Although I still personally think that you should do Yang, because then we could do Bumblebee shoots.
I think the reason why we weren't going to do it that way was because I had a friend who
Yeah.
was obsessed with Yang and was going to cosplay Yang.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be afraid of doing that. Also, have you seen the new anime that's coming out that is a RWBY anime? It's a remake of it. It's called RWBY
Yes.
Ice Queendom.
I have seen about that. I feel like you are the target audience for that.
I love my Ice Queen.
Yeah.
I liked her because she secretly struggled with a lot of things, and she had a kind of like hard childhood, but she learned from her mistakes on
Yeah.
screen
Yeah.
and developed and grew as a person. And
Yep.
I kind of resonated with that because I was like, wow, I also had some really rocky times growing up and made some not great choices
Yeah.
and lost a lot of good people. But when I sort of learned and grew up and became less paranoid and less afraid and didn't push as many people away, luckily those people were still there.
Yeah.
And I think that was the storyline that she went through, and
Yeah.
it felt really special. So
I love it.
she's not a popular choice. A lot of people hate her.
No, yeah, she
But
is
that's my
definitely
reasons.
a niche choice, which is very
Yeah.
odd.
Mhm.
I will say that my favorite, although I okay, so if people were to ask me my favorite from RWBY, I'd be like Blake. But in
We know
reality,
who the actual favorite is. I think I have the same answer in mind because it's my actual favorite as well. That isn't part of the top, isn't part of the
Jean.
main cast. Yeah.
Yep.
The best character arc, the best character progression.
Yep.
1,000,000%.
Yep. Just Jean. Jean arc. Mwah. Also, Miles Luna. What a guy. What a guy. I could probably will do an entire podcast episode on Miles Luna at some point because I have so many good things to say about that man. And it's not even
Sure,
in
he'd love
a
it.
he probably would. But it's not in just a I'm obsessed with you way. It is a I admire everything that you do and you inspire me to be better. Because how I love how I just asked you to promote your stuff and I was gonna try and like, bring the podcast to a natural close. This is not closing out anytime soon.
No. Editing.
Editing, it's fine. I'll edit out all the bits at the beginning where we didn't have our brains set together.
Also, I ramble a lot. Feel free to edit out any of me rambling.
No, I love listening to you talk, so I will probably leave it all in.
No.
And I hope you don't mind. But Miles Luna, so again, being raised on YouTube, I used to watch Achievement Hunter and Rooster Teeth religiously. And I don't know why, but something about me latched onto Miles Luna. And then he created the show Camp Camp. And you okay there? There's a fly.
There is a fly.
There
oh my
is a
god.
fly.
I didn't biff it. It might come back. Camp.
I feel like that's gonna be the trailer bit for the episode.
You know what? Yeah.
Perfect. So he then made Camp Camp, and I realized every single bit of why I loved him because he has such a very positive attitude towards everything, but it's been brought on because of all the negativity he's had to deal with in the past. And although Camp Camp was his creation, he also played the character of David, who is the camp counselor, like one of the main characters. And I have David tattooed on my leg because that series meant so much to me. And there's a very specific moment. Pardon?
Which leg?
On my, I can't work out leg sides. Left, right. On my left.
I've seen your right leg more. But I have.
Weirdly so, yes.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on.
Moving on.
You've got him tattooed on your leg.
Yeah, so I've got him tattooed on my leg because there was a very specific moment in, I want to say season 2. At the end of season 2, there is a moment where Max, the young kid that torments David all the way through the series, says, like, well, why do you care? And David's response is, because somebody fucking has to. And my heart broke into a million pieces because with just that one phrase, I knew exactly what this character was about. I knew exactly where he had come from, and I felt it deep in my bones. And so everything that Miles has done has been out of just pure passion and positivity and love for what he does. And so that's been like a huge influence. Because, you know, somebody fucking has to.
Yeah. That's such an important message. Like, maybe not the... Well, yeah, maybe worded as it is, 100%. Yeah. So someone has to do it.
Yeah.
Someone effing has to. Yeah, and I think that's applicable for so many situations. Like, that's...
Yeah.
You've hit me in my thump heart place.
Yeah. I feel like we should sit down and watch that series because you would love it for the comedy, but also the little bits of seriousness that they put into it are just, they're so nicely timed and neatly placed. And I think you'd really appreciate the messages that it sends across as well.
Do you know what? It's a date.
Yeah.
Sorry, Matt.
But not actually sorry, because when have we ever been sorry about it?
I love you.
Oh dear. So we should probably finish this up because we have now been recording for about 2 hours.
Woo!
So remind everyone where they can find you. I'm gonna put it in the descriptions, but just real quick, remind everyone where they can find you.
I mean, I have like 6 different socials on every platform. So like art stuff, if you want to look at my art, I really appreciate that. Like on Twitter _Lacey-Love _. And for my normal Twitter, which is just pure chaos and I wouldn't follow, it's Lacey_Love K. Everyone thinks it's Lovick, but I wouldn't put my last name online because that's silly.
Yeah.
Unlike some people.
Look, we're not going to talk about that, okay?
I have other socials, but I'd be here forever naming all of them, so...
Yeah. So those are the important
You want to hear my stupid, like, 3 a.m. brain farts? Second one. If you want to check out cool art, the first one.
Yeah. And if you do want to support Lacey's Patreon, because I do highly recommend it, I will also put a link to that in the description.
I'd love to draw your things. Please come and talk to me. I'm not scary. I just really love D&D and fantasy art, and I would love to draw your things.
And I can attest that she draws the things very well.
I'll like send you some photos that you can feel free to put around the screen.
Yeah. Look at all those cool things. Look at them go.
Wow. Oh my god. They're everywhere.
All the cool things.
That one's flying.
Don't you dare make me animate things.
Wow. This one is on a horse.
Oh, I'm ending
Whoa,
this.
cool kickflip, dude!
I'm ending this episode before it
Yeah,
gets
don't-
any
don't-
further.
Thank you for having me.
No,
It's been a joy.
thank you for coming on. I absolutely love chatting to you, no matter what the topic or where we are, and it's just a joy to just be in your presence.
Anytime, darling.
You're wonderful. I love you.
No, you.
Oh, I love me too. Right, I'm gonna head out. I've been Sam. My name is Sam L. Drake on most socials, apart from on Instagram, where I am Sam Drake. And I hoped that you enjoyed this video or podcast, audio, whatever. I'll get good at this at some point.
You already are.
Oh, thanks, babe. Right, I'm off. Love you. Bye-bye.